I just found my first treasure, an 1870s iron steam boiler from the original Malan Heights Hotel. Hey guys, it's Jackie with Tour Ogden, and today we are hiking Malan's Peak in Ogden, Utah. So if you go up 29th Street to the main 29th Street trailhead, that is one of the main starting spots for this hike. And you can also go up 27th Street and begin there. So this hike is about out and back about roughly 5 miles, 2,000 feet in elevation. Amazing views of all of Ogden and of all of the mountains surrounding and all the different hikes. So we are going to head up there today. Tour Ogden is always focused on history of the city, the history of Ogden, the history of the mountains, the history of the town. And so Malan's Peak is right up there with mountains and history. It's incredibly historic, and the story behind it is pretty fascinating. In 1892, Bartholomew Malan, or Tim Malan, and his family carved out a road for a wagon road, carved it out up through Taylor Canyon, getting up to Malan's Peak to build a resort, Malan Heights Hotel. So I'm not even a quarter of the way up to Malan's Peak, and this is where so right now it's like very end of September, and we've been in a drought all year. So this is where the creek would be. This is where the river would be flowing wildly in the spring. But right now, and my puppy would be sitting in it. He just likes to lay down in the water like that. But there's no water. So when we get a little higher, there'll be a little bit of water. But right now there is not, because it is fall and because of the drought. Okay, so we are at the top of Malan's Peak, and there is Ben Lomond Peak, and here's the whole city of Ogden, and over here, down here is Bonneville shoreline going up to Waterfall Canyon, and then up here is where there was the Malan's Peak Resort in 1892. So it was a 2-story resort. It was in 1892. So you can imagine them bringing up all of their equipment, everything, all the way up to this mountain to build a resort. There was a campground, there was restaurant, there was log cabins, and so they carved out the road, and people that would come in to the Union Station on the train, they would promote it as coming and visiting the Rocky Mountains, come stay in the Malan Heights Hotel, and they would bring them up on a horse and carriage and take them up for a day or two at the resort. So this was in 1892. It burnt down in 1906. And they say all that's left of it is an old boiler somewhere out here that remains of what was of the hotel. So that's some of the amazing, incredible history right here in Ogden, Utah at Malan Peak. Okay, here we are for the second time this week at Malan's Peak in Ogden, Utah. I would say for the average hiker, it is a strenuous hike. It's about, like I was saying, about 5 miles round trip. But it's worth it. So here at the peak, once you get up here, we came in on the left. If you go to the right, you can head down to Malan's Basin, where the Malan family built their Malan Heights Hotel. So let's head down there. All right, so we were just at Malan's Peak, and now we are headed over to Malan's Basin, which is the side of the resort that was built up here. and we're gonna go check that area out and find the plaque. And then we're gonna look for some leftover souvenirs from a time back in history when there was a resort on top of this historical mountain in Ogden, Utah. All right, here we are in this beautiful basin, right down from Malan's Peak and above Waterfall Canyon. And this is where, this is the site of, and here is the plaque right here. It says 1893 to 1913, site of Malan Heights Resort, including a 2-story hotel, sawmill, 7 log cabins, and a clubhouse. Board and room were $6 a week. Single meals 35 cents and 50 cents. Proprietors is Bartholomew Tim Malan and Louisa Malan and family. And the Malan family descendants placed this plaque here in 1997. So just like imagine, stand here and in the beauty of this mountain, and just like the colors are just starting to change. It's October 1st is like in 2 days. And just imagine like that being here. It's absolutely incredible, the history in the mountains in Ogden, Utah. Right here in my hometown. It's incredible to think that I live here. Now let's go find that boiler that is left over. Let's go treasure hunt. Oh, and then the creek is just right over there. So they did build this resort on next to the creek, obviously, to make it a little more nice. But let's go find that boiler. Okay guys, I just found my first treasure. An 1870s iron steam boiler from the original Malan Heights Hotel, laying here about 200 feet west of this plaque, right next to the river. So this is just, for someone that loves history and hiking, it's like I'm in my happy spot right now. This is pretty cool. So it's an 1870s iron steam boiler from the hotel, the original Malan Heights Hotel. Pretty awesome treasure here. If anybody knows more information about this, let me know. I just think that this is so cool. And it's right next to the creek if you're trying to look for it. Okay, and up here right above the boiler, there's another treasure hidden. It looks like some kind of a pulley. I don't know, like this was a wheel, you know, some kind of equipment. It's another big iron pulley to haul something up. The date on here, it says patented, and it says the dates 18 something, and then it says 1874, 1875, and 1877. There's my dog. This one, it was patented, and yeah, pretty amazing. I can't even imagine hauling all of this up the mountain back in the late 1800s. Holy cow, that would have been a lot of work and a lot of horses. So there's the boiler, and this is just some awesome history right here in Ogden. Okay, now I'm hiking uphill from Malan's Basin back up to Malan's Peak. So it was about a half a mile, 10 minutes to get down from Malan's Peak to Malan's Basin, the site of the resort. Now I'm walking back up to get back up to the peak, which is about a half a mile from the basin, I would say. And I will head back down to the city. So when you're at the top of Malan's Peak, and you turn east back to the mountain, and then you turn right, which is southeast, and take that trail over here. So we came up this way, and if you take this trail, about a half a mile or so, 15 minutes or so to get down to the basin where the actual site of the resort was. So I imagine when you get down to the resort, I'd imagine that they had people hike up this half mile or so, hiked, and then showed them the views of the peak. Because in the basin, it's quite covered. You can't really see, there's not a view. But maybe back then there was, maybe with it being a 2-story hotel there was. I'm not sure, but that's what I'm guessing. And it's raining out there. Beautiful. So I know there's still, though, we got to do is Taylor Canyon, which is this way. And I know that there's still a portion of the old wagon road that they brought people up to the Malan Heights Hotel. So I'm going to try to find that on Taylor Canyon next time I hike that. But Malan's Peak, gorgeous, amazing. Thank you for joining me.